This was where it started. Suddenly and began the case of the cotton kimono.
Just a moment, darling. Just a moment. Somebody's in an awful hurry. I'm sorry I wasn't dressed for you yet, sweetheart. I was just... Oh.
Good evening, Margot. Lamont. Sorry to walk in on you like this.
We were on our way to the theater.
We are on our way to the theater.
Well,
Aren't we?
Guess I owe the department something for that retainer they send me every month. Afraid you'll have to throw yourself on the... Margot?
I know the commissioner's mercy. I haven't seen a play in 6 months.
I'm sorry. Homicide needs the help of a criminal psychologist.
Well, what's it all about?
The cotton kimono killing. And a detective named Springfield. The girl was killed on the 4th. Up to date, we've gotten practically nowhere.
Where does Detective Harris from Springfield come in?
Well, Springfield was Sissy Chadwick's hometown.
Harris was assigned to the case?
The girl had only been in New York for a few months. So we contacted Springfield. We got a lot of pretty useless data. Then, 4 days ago, Detective Harry Harris of the Springfield Police entered the case. He's been at it like a Trojan ever since. I think he needs the kind of help you can give.
What's his trouble?
I brought him along.
Show him in, Margot.
I really think he could tell you better himself.
Drop in any time, Commissioner. And bring your friends.
Thank you, Lamont.
I'd like to see him alone, Commissioner.
Oh, certainly, of course.
Come right in, Mr. Harris. Sit down, won't you?
Thanks.
Well, how do you like our large and noisy city?
Don't get to see much of it. I'm at work by 7 in the morning. I'm at home by 10 p.m. You see, I knew Sissy since she was a kid. I knew her people, Mr. Cranston.
What have you found out so far?
Not too much. They didn't locate the murder gun until today. Found it in the grating behind the Madison apartments where Sissy lived.
It's been traced?
Yeah. Stolen from Louis Mendy's pawn shop on 6th Avenue.
What about the girl? Did she have any underworld tie-in?
I don't think so.
Any enemies?
None that I heard of.
Any boyfriends?
Yeah. Alex Brom. Oregon 75883. He's a shipping clerk.
Of course you went to see him.
With a couple of boys in uniform. I don't want to sound like a wise guy, but they let him get away with the murder.
You went only once?
No. I went a second time. He didn't like the questions I was asking.
Miss Lade, may I present Mr. Brom?
Good evening, Mr. Brom. You're not married, are you, Mr. Brom? You know, you don't have to answer. Of course you're not. I've never seen a more totally male apartment.
Are you two in the right place?
Oh, undoubtedly. You know, this could be a charming room.
Mr. Brom doesn't believe in the decorative, Margot. Except, unless I'm mistaken, for this. A little out of key, wouldn't you say, Alice?
Hey, put that down. Put that down and get out of here.
My name's Cranston, Lamont Cranston. You may think of me as an emissary of Mr. Harris, the little man who dropped around here a couple of times.
A couple of times? Where'd you get a couple of times? That hind has been on my back morning, noon, and night. I get up and go to sleep with him looking down at me.
He's been here more than twice?
I lost count of the times. So you tell him, will you? Will you tell him you might as well lay off me because you'll get nothing more out of me?
I don't understand that, Brom. You keep the dead girl's picture so she can't be too bad a memory, and yet you refuse to help us.
I can't help you any more than I have. I told Harris everything I know, but he keeps on after me. If I could help you catch a guy that killed Sissy, why should I hold out after what he did to her?
Lamont. I'll be in the car.
Pretty broken up, aren't you? Were you in love with her? It won't help to lie, Bron. They've traced the murder gun to a pawn shop in 6th Avenue. The proprietor, Louis Mendes, won't have much trouble identifying the man who stole it.
By the time I got there that night, she was dead. She was a nice kid. She worked in an office 5 days a week. Wasn't interested in running around. Wasn't interested in anything, I guess, much except me and the job and her singing lesson. Her singing lesson?
She took singing lessons?
This guy she took from. Yeah, he used to call her after hours, bothering her when he had no business. And one night I got sore.
What did she say?
Well, she understood. She admitted he was nuts about her. She said she was going to tell him once and for all to cut it out the very next day.
When was it?
Well, let me see. Yeah. Yeah, it was the day before she... It was the 3rd of February.
Who is he?
I'm not accusing anybody.
Who is he?
Grimbauer, Rollo Grimbauer. He's over on 58th Street in the Dunwoody Studios.
Now, Miss Bettinger, let's go on up. Very nice, by the way. Very nice. Continue. Not a great voice, Mrs. Bettinger's, but she has the will to sing. That's all I require of my pupils, the will to sing.
Very democratic of them. Of course, it doesn't hurt anything if they also have blonde hair, blue eyes, and hail from the Midwest with figures that remain glamorous even in a cotton kimono.
You have a warrant, sir, that permits you to come here and question me?
No.
Then how dare you, sir? My time is worth $20 an hour, and for the untalented is unavailable at any price. You're disturbing this lady. Go on, Mrs. Bettinger. Good day, sir.
Have it your own way, Professor. But it won't take long to get a warrant, or even a subpoena.
I'm afraid I'll have to put you to that trouble.
Don't apologize. It'll be a pleasure.